Hey, you. I'm talking about you. You that just turned on this video. This your life coach, Dr. Omar Howard, here with my boy Cal Jacko. Get ready for the King series. I'm talking about you. Are you ready for this King series? You better get ready to ride. My boy Jacko, King series part 2. Life coach Omar
Good
Howard.
day, man. It's Kyle Jacko right now, taking it from the ATL, and I hope y'all ready because right now it is time for the King series, chapter 2. Get ready, get lifted every single day. We gotta take off because you already know we do this channel right here for the glory of God. Hey, right now I have another person. I think this is like the fifth, sixth person I'm bringing from Clubhouse. Here it is. But this time, what we did, I hate this man all the time on Clubhouse. I see him go live on Instagram. I just see him every single time. And when I first met this king, I met him on Clubhouse. I was like, man, he's so powerful. He's so strong. And you know me, I'm very, very loud. But he's very loud too. But he brings in the information. He brings in the motivation. He brings everything with it. So right now, he's in Mexico, but originally he's from London. So yes, we're going international, right, y'all? Get ready. We're going all the way international. I ain't never been to London, but we went all the way down there. We came all the way back. Then we went to Mexico too, and now we're here right now. So right now, Brother Daniel, I would love for you to come on right now and, man, tell them everything about you, what you got going on, and just who you are. Because they probably don't have Clubhouse, but if they have Instagram, they need to go follow you. So come on, Brother Daniel, let them know who you are, sir.
Hey. Thank you so much for having me. I know we had some trials and tribulations getting this together, but we're here right now. Hello everyone, I'm Daniel Mangena. I'm from East London in the UK myself. My parents actually emigrated to the UK from a little country called Zimbabwe in Southern Africa. They did that in the 70s. My dad was interested in expanding his education. Interestingly enough, they preceded the bigger exodus of immigrants from Africa into the UK, which happened a lot when there was a lot of civil wars and stuff like that happening in the 90s. So my parents actually weren't economic migrants, they were education migrants. They wanted to expand their education, so they went to do that. I was born in the 80s and grew up in East London and then moved out to Essex. And I was an entrepreneur from very young. I've actually only ever had 2 jobs in my life. Once I worked in the movies when I was a teenager. And then when I was rebuilding my life from 2012, I worked in a call center for 6 months whilst I built up a business. What's actually happened with me is that I've been through the school of hard knocks, I think they call it, where you've actually had a lot of life experiences that take you in different directions. And I got into a lot of positive thought, motivation, mindfulness, visualization, often the mysticism and esoterics from about the age of 16. So I read Think and Grow Rich, for example, when I was 17 years old. I was reading Machiavelli the Prince when I was 19 years old. I was reading Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz when I was 18 years old. That's who I was. And unfortunately, what had happened was because I hadn't yet tasted tribulation, like really tasted it, when tribulation came, I didn't have the humility enough to know it for what it was. And I had so much arrogance that I didn't actually know that the people around me and God, who I actually needed to really look to support me going through it. And I thought I was doing it all myself. It was only when I lost my second multi-million-pound fortune at the age of 23 years old and I hit rock bottom and realized I don't know everything, that I really realized that I don't know everything. And I spent a decade after that creating what I now call the Beyond Intention paradigm. It's the main subject matter of my best-selling book, which we just re-released about a month ago. And what that's all about is really understanding the role that our choices and free will plays in creating the life that we live, and understanding the role that we have in the whole creation of our own reality process. Because I found that people go into 2 directions. Either they go into, oh, I don't do anything, I don't choose anything, I kind of just ride the wave, and don't realize that actually what ends up happening is their unconscious mind becomes the one making the prayers that cause them what they end up getting. Or people that are where I was, which think that it's all me, I'm in charge of everything, I control everything, and don't recognize that actually there's a creative power that we work through and works through us in order to create our reality. And it's about coming to the middle. It's about that dance between intentionality and surrender to the divine. So my job now, I find to be the gift of going around the world, not so much now with like pandemics and stuff, but you know, we're doing it digitally as we're doing right now. With my podcast, my workshops, with my retreats, with my books, with my social media content, with my articles. I write for a few cool magazines like Entrepreneur Magazine, and really bringing this perspective on truth to people so they can be motivated, they can be resourced, they can be inspired, and they can be supported in creating a more positive, expansive world for us, for our kids' kids. But more importantly, coming back to a recognition of a truth, and that's that God doesn't shortchange, right? Abundance doesn't exist in nature because it's not the nature of the divine. And that we don't have to go chasing after abundance. We're actually called to just come back to a memory of the natural abundance that's inherently ours and to lose the illusions that we've been taking on over our life. And that's what I get to do every day.
Okay. Hey, I love it. I was just sitting up there. I'm like, I'm just listening. I'm like, wow. Like I told you at first, getting on this right here, you're going to drop gems. And I already knew you was. Like, to everybody right now, y'all don't know how hard it was to actually do it because he's a very busy person. Y'all see me on Instagram. I'm a very busy person too. But the glory of God works with everybody, and God let this happen right now. So the next question I want to ask you, sir, how do you wear your crown in society?
I think that we sometimes lose sight of how much our crown isn't necessarily seen, but it's felt. So one of the things I love to remember is that our spirit moves before our body does. And so the way that I focus on the wearing of my crown is what I'm doing with my spirit and keeping that uplifted. So that's spending time in the morning, connecting in and tuning up and vibing up. And then following that through with the thoughts that I'm thinking, and then my actions and royal king-like actions become a lot easier to execute and to exercise. For me, it's all about being an authentic and an integrity example, not doing acts that look good, but following on from a spirit that is good. And that's how I endeavor daily to actually wear my crown, from the spirit right down to the physical.
Okay. I love it. Like, what y'all don't understand is like me and Daniel had this conversation. And I told Daniel this right here. I said, I got to put a background. I said, just for you. Your life ain't real like that. Live a real life. Love who you are. Love the passion. Love the grit, who you are. Guess what? When God made you, God made a celebrity. God made that blue check mark on Twitter. God made so much stuff for you. You got to actually love who you are. Because with me, I love you some Kyle Jacko. I mean, if I could date myself, I really would date myself. And I know brother loves his stuff that much too. Okay, your next question. Who do you consider to be a king model in your life? With me, my king model, celebrity-wise, has to be DMX. DMX is one of mine because he always was himself. He never tried to be anything else but Earl Simmons. When he got on stage, he was DMX, but he was still Earl Simmons. And a lot of people, you be yourself. You got to be yourself. Be real. The next person I could say is Mr. Craig Costin. Mr. Craig Costin is retired, but he's a deacon in church. He is somebody that tells me all the time, I know you love what you do when it comes to motivational speaking, but you got to put the business behind it. You can't just keep on just doing stuff. You have no business. It's good always looking out for everybody else, but you have 5 kids. What are you doing with your kids right now to build a legacy for them? So that's why I kept on working. I kept on working. As I kept on working, the motivational speaking is not just, hey, I'm motivational speaking now. It's like, we have stuff coming up. We have the King series. We have the Queens. We have the shirts for that. We have a book coming out. So I turned just this right here, not just to what I love doing, but as a business. So that's my two king role models. So with you, sir, do you have a celebrity or do you have family members? Who is your king role model?
So I've had this practice that I've had since 2016. I was chatting with a friend and we both love books. Okay, we're both obsessed with books, but we had this conversation when we realized it's very easy to read a lot of books and then just become a geek that it's no street smarts. You just become like just a bookworm that can't actually function in reality. And so we made a commitment that day that no matter how many books we read, we're always going to have a top 5 books that we're going to live by. So yeah, we'll read and read and read, but we'll have 5 books around 5 areas that mean something to us that are going to be our foundation. That then evolved into what I now one of my programs called the Ideal Life Blueprint, where we support people in creating their ideal life by picking 5 core areas that they want to really work on and focus on. And for each of those 5 areas, we pick a book, but we also pick a role model. So my 5 areas right now, and by the way, this hasn't stayed since 2016. Every week, I challenge those 5 areas and say, based on what I've learned this week, based on my experiences this week, am I keeping those same 5 areas? Also, am I keeping those same 5 books based on what I read this week, based on what I learned? Am I keeping those same 5 role models? I keep challenging it so it never gets stale. It's always kept fresh. So currently my 5 areas are financial freedom, love and my family, consciousness expansion and expansion of my spirit, meaning and purpose, and personal pride. So each of those 5 areas has got a book. I'd just like to pick up on 2 of them because I think they're kind of relevant to what we're talking about here. First and foremost, it's definitely going to be an imaginary character from a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. And that's the character of Arkad, A-R-K-A-D. He's the main character featured in the book. So The Richest Man in Babylon was written by a guy called George S. Clayson, I think in 1929. And what he did was he used parables based in ancient Babylon to teach financial astuteness, to teach money principles, money management principles. Very, very effective, very easy to read. I suggest everybody watching this series right now goes and gets that book because it will change your financial situation applying what you learn in that book. But Arkad didn't come from something. Arkad came from nothing. He was actually just an everyday guy working he worked as a scribe, making clay tablets, because back in ancient Babylon, they didn't have Xerox. So manually people had to copy everything over. And he was one of the people that did that. And someone came up to him and asked him to do a job for them and he failed. He didn't get the job done on time. The guy came in the morning to pick up his work and Arkad said, you know what? I tried and I didn't quite make it, but here's what I'm going to ask you. I will work from now until tomorrow morning and make sure this gets done if you tell me how you got rich. Now, he took a risk. He could have lost his job. Again, he wasn't a rich person. He was working a bottom of the bottom job. He had a wife to feed. He had kids to feed. But he took that risk. He could have ended up losing his job, but he took that risk and he said he was bold and he asked for knowledge from someone that knew. And he spent the next, I think it was 5 or 6 years being tutored and mentored by this guy until he went and took what he learned from him, proved himself, and then became the richest man in Babylon. Now, when he became the richest man in Babylon, he didn't run around telling everyone, hey, I'm Arkad, I'm that guy. Do you know what he did? He shared his wisdom. He went into the temple of knowledge and he taught 100 people the lessons that he learned from his mentor so that they could go out and teach the other people of Babylon too. He didn't hoard his wealth. He contributed to what his country needed. He supported poor people. He supported with project going on. He gave people jobs, but most importantly, he passed on that knowledge. Now, I know he's not a real person, but he took chances. He went and put that work in. He did his time in the trenches. He spent his time in the gym. And when time came, he didn't take his knowledge to the grave. He shared it with others so that they could share with others. So often, I think we get chances and either we try to spoon feed people and don't give them the opportunity to learn, or we hoard it all ourselves because we think we're taking it with us. But nothing goes to, at the end of the day, you see that meme where you've got a black person, you've got a white person, a rich person, a poor person, and they're all just skeletons in the grave. We've got to look at the legacy that we're leaving by what we're showing others. We've got to look at the legacy that we're setting up to leave based on what we're doing. And we've got to look at who we are learning from, being mentored and taught by in pursuit of anything, including our legacy. And that's why I definitely revere Arkad, although he's a mythical character.
I think, sir, you are the first person to come on here, and you are the first person to come up here and you actually giving people knowledge, books to read, not just an actual, just a king model. Like I gave you 2 king models. You gave me books to read, and you gave the audience books to read too. Like I said, that's why, yeah, the background is up just for you, sir. Okay. Now the next thing, sir. Do you like playing games?
I play games.
Okay. So man, I got something for you, and it's called the wordplay. The wordplay is something that I do on the King series and the Queen series because I want to stump all of y'all. Y'all can't just be coming here looking all nice with y'all suit and ties on, shirts on, all this. So I have 3 words. When I say these 3 words, I want you to paint a picture for everybody watching the video. Cool?
Paint the picture.
Yeah. When I say the word London, what comes to your mind for somebody ain't never been in London before?
History. There's a lot of history, a lot of architecture. It's, I mean, you've got things like Buckingham Palace, Tower Bridge, Tower of London. You've got a lot of really, really old buildings, old cathedrals. You've also got a lot of cosmopolitan culture. I think people don't recognize, because of the docks in London, we've had people from all over the world come into London for hundreds of years. So there's a lot of little pockets of mixed culture. Yeah, something like New York's got it too, but New York's a young city compared to London, which is, I think, a couple of thousand years old. You've also got really muggy weather, unpredictable weather. You can get a few seasons in a day. You've also got division, though, that comes with that cultural, because you've got like your Chinatown. You've got places like, I'm from East London, where you've got like the Filipino area down in Plaistow. You're going to have Green Street, which is very Indian culture. But then there's the opportunity to go in and taste those other cultures. But I'd really love to see them merge a little bit more. What else would I say about London? Vibrant, definitely vibrant. There's a lot of stuff to do, not so much nowadays, but there's a lot of stuff to do in London. Yeah, I would say that's London.
Okay, the only thing I know about London, shouts out to Morris. Morris, you know, Morris connected from London. And another one is the Spice Girls. Like, London. Like, that's the only thing I remember from London is Spice Girls. Okay, now you're somewhere different. You're not in London. So what can you tell us about Mexico? Like, because I see a lot of stuff in Mexico. My friends, he went there a lot. They have something where it's a statue where it's like a woman, she's opening her, it's open like this, but it's like a whole, it's all like a whole vegan thing where it's like she's opening up. I don't know what part of Mexico is in, but she has a crown on her head and she just like this. I wish I could find this picture, but it's something when I think about that, because everybody I see go to Mexico, they always go by the statue. And it's a very beautiful statue. What would you like to know? What would you like to tell people about Mexico? Because you're in Mexico. What is something about Mexico you would like to share with the people?
You know, I think people don't realize how big Mexico is. Mexico is hella big, right? Really, really big. And each of the different regions have got all these cultural nuances. The cuisine, one of the things, so I came to Mexico 3 years ago. I've been here 3 years. And one of the first things I learned when I came to Mexico is they don't just eat burritos and tacos. Mexican cuisine is diverse and delicious, and they've got these really interesting different signature dishes from different parts of the country. Then you've got like mariachi bands, for example, are from Guadalajara, and that's where tequila's from too. But then you'll go down to Oaxaca, and they've got like special cheeses that they make down there. And then you've got also the different temperatures and the different climates. So you'll head over, for example, along the Caribbean coast on the east, around Cancun and Puerto Mayales, and it's very Caribbean and it's very humid and warm. And then I'm over on the west coast and it's very deserty, and we look at the Pacific. I'm looking at the Pacific Ocean right now. But then you go to somewhere like Mexico City, where we go quite often, and it's like this European city that's full of buzz and excitement and really cool places to eat. And they've got some of the most like Michelin star restaurants in the world. They've got loads of them there in Mexico City. Mexican people work hard. like they work really hard, but there's quite a sad class system that exists. There's a moderate middle class, but a lot of it's like really hardworking people and people that have got money. There's not very much in between, but there's a lot of humility. They love to just have fun on the weekend. You'll catch them down on the beach, just, you know, cracking up a few cans and taking their family down to the beach. But family really means a lot here. There's a lot about family and community and closeness. There's a lot of God-fearing people here. Catholicism is a principal religion, and you really see that emanated into the culture and what people do. A lot of people misdiagnose that, oh, the cartels. One of the craziest things that you'll find here is that unless you're mixed up in cartel business, you don't really even know that cartel stuff actually exists. Yes, there are some areas where you'll see activities a bit higher, but that's because more people tend to be involved, just like an everyday job, in that kind of activity. But generally, like where I live, like I don't even lock my house. Police don't even really need to go around. You don't really hear about crime. I got beautiful weather, beautiful people. My son was born down here. We've got quite a strong expat community here, so a lot of private hospitals and so on and so forth. It will surprise a lot of people what it is to live in Mexico, depending on where you go to live. You can get so many different experiences and different adventures and learn different cultural things. And like I've been to go and see pyramids outside of Mexico City, which was really, really cool. And they've got them in other parts of the country as well. So there's a lot of history. Unfortunately, Spanish invasion wiped out a lot of history. A lot of the language got taken. A lot of people lost their heritage, but they're beautiful people. They work really hard. They're very welcoming and they're very loving, very God-fearing. And it's a beautiful place to be, and I love it here.
Shouts out Mexico. Like I went one time and I loved it every time I went. Like it's been beautiful to me. The shouts out all Mexico, because I know y'all have different time zones in each, like each place. So shouts out the whole entire Mexico. And you are so right, sir. They work very, very hard. And salute to them. They really, really do. And another thing is, I love what you were saying about the cartels and this, that, and other. But unless you're involved in it, you don't really see about it. Because guess what? I stay in Atlanta, Georgia. Some of the neighborhoods I stay in, they do a lot of stuff. But see, outside these walls, I don't see anything. Because I don't involve myself in nothing. If it ain't speaking to my kids, motivational speaking, personal training, life coaching, I don't see anything. This is all I see. So once again, people, he just gave you a jewel. Stop focusing on everybody else. Focus on something in your house. That was you worried about. Okay, the next one. I got one word. I got words for you. When I say King Series Chapter 2, what comes to your mind?
Growth, evolution, momentum. We've gone from 1 to 2, so we're making moves. We're moving forward. 2 isn't normally where we start. Otherwise, it will just be King Series second half. So it shows that there's a journey and there's something that's going to go on, and I wanted to be a part of it.
Okay, man, love you. The thing with somebody that don't know is, when I came with the Queen Series and the King Series, I prayed. And I was like, God, I love doing motivation, but I want to touch people that I probably wouldn't meet. I went to sleep. I woke up with a big headache. Like, I'm talking about a big headache. I woke up, I'm like, oh, man. Queen Series started. Chapter 1, 5 queens. Started again. Chapter 2. Chapter 3. And it kept on going. So thank God for just putting it on my head right here. That's when he came with the King Series. Chapter 1 was just so amazing, because we're out here to touch on basis on this. But my uncle, my cousins, a lot of people was part of Chapter 1. Chapter 2 just added on more. Like I didn't get on Clubhouse until like February, but a lot of y'all came from Clubhouse. A lot of y'all came from Instagram. And he just adds on. So it's gonna be 20 so. So guys just got some work right now. It's just, I'm so happy. I'm so blessed. Like I'm like, but y'all don't know it. I smile all day long. I really actually do. Okay. So Sir, you have won the wordplay. You want to know what you have won?
What did I win?
You have won tea and crumpets. Only two. Only two.
Two is all you need. Two is all you need.
No, that's all you get. Okay, your second prize. You have won 5 Popeyes biscuits with no water, no butter, no nothing.
Can I make my own? Can I bring my own gravy, or at least?
Nope, no gravy, no nothing. You got
I'll be sharing those. I'll be sharing those. I'll be sharing the blessing with others.
No. You can't share with nobody else. These are all your blessings by yourself.
Okay. Well, my cup runneth over.
Okay. We got you the Spice Girl CD.
Okay, thank you.
But
yes,
the CD is broke and only got the case.
Okay. Well, I've got something to remember them by.
And we got you one more. We got you the Backstreet album too. Everybody. Backstreet.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Good. I got the CD. I don't got the case. And it got a whole lot of scratches on there, but hopefully it plays. Okay.
As long as we hear something, we're all good.
Okay, cool. Hey, man, thank you for playing the wordplay. You were the first one to actually sing the song with me. Because everybody, I love the Backstreet Boys, Spice Girls, Elvis Presley. Like, I love older music. And people think all thing I listen to is rap music. No, I listen to country music. I listen to a lot of music that you would never think I listen to. I love this music all the way around. So thank you for playing, man. We're going to be sending all this stuff to your house. We don't know how it's going to get there, but they have a man that's going to come and drop it off in your house in Mexico, and we don't even know his name. We're going to just give it to him and tell him to just go right and give it to you.
Okay. Well, I thank you in advance for the blessing that makes my cup runneth over.
I love how you said my cup runneth over. Jacko, anybody shows up to my house, Jacko. I'm not asking to do it all, but cool, man. I appreciate you. Okay. The reason I do the wordplay because now it's time to get into a part of the video that has always been hard for me because every time when I mention my Uncle Eddie Ray Brown's name, I just remember my uncle so much. He was a superhero in my life. He was like Superman with the cape flying through the sky. And I just love him a lot. That's what I got to say. So everybody that's a part of this King series, they all had to watch a video. And I had to make sure they watched because my uncle, he started something really, really good with chapter 1 when he was first on. So chapter 2 is a blessing. And I wish, but I can never question God, that my uncle was still around right now. He passed away February 20th. And everything is done for my uncle. The line comes from my uncle. Everything from the church, everything else, my uncle was just amazing in my life. So, sir, you have to watch the video. So I want to know from you, why should everybody watch the King series chapter 15 with Eddie Ray Brown? And what did you learn from that video?
I said before that you'll feel a person's spirit before you hear what they have to say. And even your uncle's demeanor, and at the time he was going through I'm not going to spill the beans, but he was going through a big thing, but he wasn't crying about it. He wasn't saying, oh, woe is me. He was spending the time that he had uplifting people and giving them the opportunity to live a fuller life themselves. Even when he shared about, people who had sat in his chair and so on and so forth. And one of the things that he said that rung true, and it's something that I speak about, and it's something that I know anyone that's worth their salt speaks about, which is you have to live your life on the terms of what you're calling in. You have to live the prayer that you're making. You have to live the intention that you're claiming. You have to live that goal that you claim, not pretending that it is, not faking it until you're making it, embodying and living it. And that for me was one of the biggest lessons, because I think it's one that a lot of people miss out on. There are people that will be reading a lot of books and have a lot of positive thought, positive thinking. they'll be praying every day, or they'll be doing their meditation, or doing their this, or they're doing that, writing their goals out, doing their affirmations, but they're not living it as if they're not calling it in by how they're showing up every day. And that for me, definitely from your uncle, was something that seared back into my head. And it's something that I've been noodling on and looking and asking myself, okay, this thing I'm about to do, does this embody what I said I'm praying for, what I said I'm calling in? Is it supporting it? Is it bringing me closer? Or is it taking me further away? And I think that's something that everyone will be very, very wise to pay attention to.
Okay. I love that. Like I said, once again, he trapped in Jules. I'm going to just call you, from now on, your name is Daniel Jules Johnson. That's what we're going to call you now. That video is so strong to me because who would have known that I done that video when I went on to Texas, and I would do that video, and I couldn't make the video because he had to go. Everybody, my uncle had cancer. I'm glad that he didn't want to say it, but that's what was at stage 4. And whoever would have known, he had to go to chemo that day, and I couldn't make the video, and I had to leave and get back on the road because I drive trucks. I had to leave and get back on the road. My uncle would have called me and told me, hey, I got somebody that's gonna shoot my video. And I said, don't worry about it. It's cool. We'll have to do it for you next year. He was like, no, we're gonna do the video now. He reached out to Super Dave, got Super Dave to shoot the video. And who would have ever known that video would be the last video that my uncle did. And that video speaks so many values. I have done over 686 videos. That video will live on forever because he's speaking to you, even though he's passed away February 20th. He's speaking to you about life issues that you need to know right now. If y'all haven't checked out that video, I don't know what to tell you. Just it's King Series Chapter 1, Series 15. Go check it out. I'm not even gonna tell you no more about it because out of all these videos, the King Series I did, y'all should have been checked out by now. So if y'all haven't, hey, bless you, bless your life. But my uncle was a gem. Rest in power to Uncle Eddie Ray Brown. Rest in power to everybody that knew him. Thank you all of the kings that talked about my uncle because, man, y'all ain't about to make me cry. We good to go. Okay, so the next question is, what are you doing right now in your life to develop future kings right now?
So I've just put out an updated edition of my book, Stepping Beyond Intention. We've just done that. Right now, we're focusing on how to get the work into more hands. So there's a TV series that's looking to come out next year on Amazon. The next book will be out next year. We're writing that right now. I'm taking my time. I was going to put the book out this October, but I actually wanted to take some time really working with what I've got right now and getting that really tight. Because I think sometimes we can get so excited about what we're creating, we can get on to creating the next thing without really making sure the thing that we're creating is out there and doing its job properly. So I said, let me slow down. Let me make sure that this gets in as many hands as it's cool to get into, and then we'll move on to the next book. So I'm doing that, working on polishing my craft, I invest a lot in myself. I spent $172,000 on my personal development last year. We're set to at least double that this year with what I'm investing in my own personal development. Because how can I carry a message to the level that I want to carry it unless I've elevated myself to the level where I'm actually able to hold all of that? So I'm continuing to develop myself so I can do that. People will hear a message, but they'll feed it first, like I've said more than once a day. And so I'm continuing to work on developing myself so I can be the greatest version of myself and then be a better example to others, show them what's possible, not just in their own life, but in the lives of people that they can go out and touch if they go out and develop themselves also. But I really want to spread a positive virus, a virus of positivity, so that more and more people are recognizing the role that they've got to play, what they've got to contribute. And if more people are doing that, then I think we can reach what Malcolm Gladwell in his book Tipping Point talks about, the tipping point, where enough people are doing something until it hits a point where it becomes the new norm. Right now, we've got fear as the new norm. We've got division as the new norm. We've got hate as the norm. we've got me versus them and all these kind of junky ideas. I'm committed to doing my part to love being the new norm. Partnership, collaboration, life, community. You know, not people looking at what our differences are, but how we can come together. All this stuff like global warming and all these other, you know, all these other things that people are arguing about and fighting over, they only exist because I think scientists said there's an 80% negative bias going on in the world right now. But when we reach that tipping point, we can flip it, make it 20% negative and 80% positive. Might not happen in my lifetime, might not happen for a few lifetimes, but I'm going to do my part, continue to do my part so that we at least contribute to that being something that happens one day.
Hey, I'm telling you, Daniel Jules Johnson. I'm going to give you a whole new nickname. Daniel Jules Johnson. Man, you just dropping jewels no matter what question I ask you, you're dropping jewels, and I love it. Okay. Next question is, what do you see in mainstream society right now that's sending out the wrong king development message?
You know,
I know it's so many you got to think about. I know it, but you got to just pick one.
I think the thing that really bakes my noodle is just this division. Zip codes versus zip code, city versus city, black versus white, this versus that. Divide and conquer, they say. And whether there's a conspiracy of like a cabal sitting somewhere making this happen, at the end of the day, we're allowing it to happen. All of the points of division, generally speaking, we're promoting and supporting it with how we're showing up. You know, we can't keep blaming other people, but I think division. Was it where two or more are gathered?
Yes.
Right? But if we've got ones gathered everywhere fighting the other ones, how are we going to get anywhere? Where's that momentum going to build? Where's that tipping point going to come from? So I definitely say division, us versus them. Now it's vaccine versus anti-vaccine, mask, no mask, black, white, Republican, Democrat. It's all nonsense at the end of the day. People fighting Republicans and Democrats. What really is the difference between the two of them, really? If we go back 100 years, wasn't it the other way around? The original slave owners were Democrats. They were Democrats. That's who they were. The script flipped and they started screaming Black Lives Matter. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, we're going to vote Democrat. Who says they even care about you? You're just getting into the mix and the separation. You're waiting for somebody else to save us, waiting for somebody else to save the day. Biden and Kamala Harris are here. Coronavirus is going to be over. They're just other people. Who even knows if they care about us? Kamala Harris wasn't even African-American until this happened. She was Indian-American up until now. She didn't even call herself black. What was she doing for the black community in Oakland? I can't see anything that she was doing anything positive. And last time I checked, when the Black Lives Matter movement, not the political party, I'm talking about the movement, tried to get their seat at the table, they had to call out certain people on Instagram because they didn't get any seat at the table, even though the Black Lives Matter banner was being used to raise money for the Democrat Party. And we're jumping into division on the back of this. Really? I think we need to stop with the division and stop waiting for someone to save us. Stop being stupid and fighting each other, come together, get into a place of love, and start creating some change from the inside out.
Daniel Jules Johnson. I just gave Daniel a whole name. Yes, Daniel Jules Johnson. Bro, thank you for that, because I tell people so many times, you try to follow the crowd. You try to follow everything else. And you know I be on Clubhouse. That's why I say his name. His name is God. I say it every single time. That's how I feel. Like, you want to follow everybody else, but when it's time to follow God, you only want to follow God when you go through struggles in your life. I follow God whether it's good right now. I got to pay child support. I don't. I got $1. I got 50 cents because I know God is going to prepare everything. You already know with me. I'm not going to go in the same thing bro said, but I'm glad you said it. But to me, God is bigger then everything you're going through right now, God can take care of everything. It starts with you. Man, hey, stop being a follower. Be a leader. Trust in God. Trust the process when it comes to God. Man, you said so many words, man. I'm just sitting over there. I'm just smiling the whole time. I was sitting over here talking. I was like, somebody finally said it. Thank you. I know Mr. OG Craig Costa gonna love this video. Okay, let me calm down. I gotta calm myself down. I gotta calm down a little. Okay. Sir, we have a special part on my YouTube channel, on this King series. It's called The Motivational Prayer. I know y'all decided to fast across the screen. I know the screen turned black and white. Why the screen turned black and white right now? Because guess what? When we thinking about God, I don't see color. I don't. It's just, it's God. So I take all the color away from the screen and I do it like that. So, sir, I want you to start first with your prayer. You start first with your prayer. You say amen, I'm gonna go. And then after I say amen, we're gonna jump right into the rest of the video. That's cool with you?
That's cool with me.
Okay, then sir, go ahead with your prayer.
We give thanks for the opportunity to be here. Thanks for another day, another opportunity to be more. Thanks, another opportunity for the messages and blessings, for the messes and the cleanliness, for all of it, because everything is you. Give thanks for the times that it looked hard, because that's an opportunity to see the things that you're going to do. Thanks for the opportunity to see when things are great, because that's an opportunity to see the things that you've done. Thanks for the opportunity to be reminded that as children of you, as children of the Most High, there is nothing that we are short of, only the short-sightedness to see that we're short of anything. We give thanks for this opportunity to move forward with this new knowledge, with new opportunities to lift your name up on high, to be better examples to others so that they can lift you up also. Thanks for today. Thanks for tomorrow. Thanks for the gift. Thank you for life. Thank you for family. Thank you for wisdom. We thank you. We thank you. Amen.
God, as I come to you right now, God, I want to say thank you for another amazing day. God, thank you for the struggles. Thank you for the pain, because God, I know one thing, trusting in you, everything we have been through in our life right now, God, it will build us, it will mold us into these strong kings and queens that we are right now. God, to anybody right now dealing with a struggle of actually believing who you are, God, I would love to tell them right now, God, you are bigger than that struggle. You are bigger than that pain. The only thing they need to do is move forward and trust in you, because God, you will make everything change in your name. Only thing you have to do is keep on just moving forward and just keep on living life. God, when it comes to Brother Daniel, God wants you to bless his wife, family, just everything he touches. When it comes to, he gets on Instagram, he meets all these amazing, beautiful people. He gets on Clubhouse, do the same thing. God, I want you to just bless him and his gift. God, every blessing that I have right now bestowed on me, God, I want you to bring half of these blessings back to Daniel, because he does so much for the community, so much for people just learning, understanding that, God, it's not always about you, about them just being the biggest thing. It's all about loving the people, because, God, the people are always important. So, guys, I pray right now, I just want to say thank you for being able to bless this King series. Thank him for just being able to always call on your name, and just know, God, you are important. You are the honorable thing in our life. You are the best thing in our life. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, man. Whew. Tell you, when I talk about God, man, I lose it sometimes. That's just what it is. So, sir, I need you to give out, I want you to pick and choose. You can give them out your Clubhouse name or your Instagram. Everything else is going to be in the description below. But with this man, we got to just let you pick out either one. Do you want to give out your Clubhouse or your Instagram? Go ahead.
It's the same for both. Dreamer CEO. I'm the same everywhere. Dreamer CEO, Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse, wherever you find me, it's Dreamer CEO.
So you ain't like me. I'm like, I'm Kyle Jacko on Clubhouse, motivational _ forever on Instagram, big speaker ATL on TikTok. Yeah, I have a whole lot. So you know what? I'm gonna pick something up from you. I might just have to change everything to the same.
It's just easier. It's just easier. Dreamer CEO. You never forget it.
All right, cool. Hey, he does so good. We're gonna let you rock with the whole entire video. Once you're done, whatever you want to say to close out, you're gonna just be like, give him a motivational message. You can say, all right, peace, whatever. It's all of you. But I need all of y'all. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you go follow not just this king, but all the kings on the King series. And go check out the Queen series because they all are giving y'all something that I know that you will love. And hey, remember this. This is your crown. You can do anything you have to do. Trust in God. If a jewel falls out your crown, you can always put it back in. Just don't give up. Love God, love yourself. My name is Kyle Jacko, the creator of the King series and the Queen series. But you know what? You are a king, you are a queen. Act like it. Brother, go ahead and take it away, sir.
You know what? I'm going to say this. I know the brother KJ has gone out there and amassed a beautiful collection of people that are going to be giving you fire hoses of gems and stories and stuff. Every single one of these videos that you watch, just pick one thing that you can do something with. Don't let this become another academic exercise, another exercise in just, I don't know, learning stuff or having some cool stuff that you're going to make a meme about. Pick one action point, one thing that you're going to follow through with, one thing that you're going to do something with, and get on and do it. Because it's easy to fall into a cycle of what I call the perpetual planning loop, reading more books and learning more stuff and not actually creating any change. Take something, one thing, and do something different with it. I'm Dan, and I'm done speaking. Bye for now.